The year is 11 AH, corresponding to 632 CE. The city of Medina awoke to a devastating shock that rattled the very earth beneath the companions' feet. The Prophet Muhammad had passed away. The trauma was beyond human comprehension. Even a man of monumental strength like Umar ibn al-Khattab drew his sword, declaring that he would strike the head of anyone who claimed the Prophet was dead. It was not just the crippling grief of losing a beloved leader, it was a profound terror of the unknown. How could this young community survive without divine revelation guiding their footsteps? In those critical hours, while the Prophet's body was being prepared for burial, a political wildfire erupted that threatened to tear the community apart before it could even mourn. The Ansar, the native residents of Medina, gathered urgently at a courtyard known as Saqifa Bani Sa'ida to choose a leader from among themselves. Upon hearing this, the Muhajirin, the emigrants from Mecca, rushed to the scene. Voices clashed, arguments grew heated, and the assembly teetered on the edge of total chaos. A political schism was brewing, one that could have permanently fractured the Muslim ranks right in their own capital. In this make-or-break moment, the closest man to the Prophet stepped forward. Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, the first adult man to embrace Islam, and the Prophet's companion in the cave during the migration. With profound wisdom, calmness, and unshakable clarity, Abu Bakr calmed the rising tempers. He reminded the masses of the eternal truth: whoever worshipped Muhammad, Muhammad is dead. But whoever worships Allah, Allah is alive and never dies. Before the night could end, the companions united, pledging their allegiance to Abu Bakr as the first Caliph. The capital was secured, but outside its walls, a monstrous storm was about to break. As news of the Prophet's death rippled across the vast expanses of the Arabian Peninsula, a crisis unlike any other in history exploded. This was the threat of the Ridda, or the Great Apostasy, a rebellion that sought to wipe Islam off the face of the earth. Many Arab tribes, who had only recently embraced Islam, mistakenly believed that the religion was tied solely to the living persona of the Prophet. With his death, they assumed their covenant had expired. They felt no obligation to submit to the rule of Medina or to his companions. Some tribes abandoned Islam entirely, reverting to ancient pagan idolatry. False prophets emerged overnight, capitalizing on tribal pride and greed. Musaylima the liar rose among the powerful Banu Hanifa tribe in Yamama, Tulayha al-Azdi rallied tribes in the north, and a self-proclaimed prophetess named Sajah emerged from the east. Other tribes chose a different, more deceptive tactic. They claimed they would keep praying, but flatly refused to pay the zakat, the mandatory alms. But zakat was not just a simple tax, it was a pillar of the Islamic faith and the very financial backbone of the state. Rejecting it meant a direct assault on the divine law and an open rebellion against the central government. Within weeks, Medina found itself completely isolated, surrounded by hostile armies ready to march on the capital. To the outside observer, the end of Islam was merely a matter of days. Here, we must pause to contemplate an incredible paradox. Who was this man leading the Muslim world at its most dangerous crossroads? It was Abu Bakr, a man famous throughout his life for his gentle soul, his immense empathy, and his easily moved tears. During the early, brutal days of Islam in Mecca, Abu Bakr was the shield for the weak. He would walk through the scorching markets and find helpless slaves being brutally tortured on the burning desert sands by the elite of Quraysh, simply because they declared their belief in one God. He saw Bilal ibn Rabah gasping for air under a heavy boulder, and driven by pure humanity and deep compassion, Abu Bakr would purchase these slaves at exorbitant, inflated prices, far beyond their market value, just to set them free. This was the essence of the man, a soft-spoken, deeply merciful, and peaceful merchant. Yet, when he assumed the mantle of the Caliphate, Abu Bakr realized a harsh, historical truth. To save the message of Islam from absolute destruction, he had to temporarily put aside his gentle nature and adopt an iron fist. He knew with absolute certainty that this was an existential war. If he faltered, the message of Islam would be completely erased from the earth. And even if a fragment of it survived, it would be a distorted, corrupted version twisted by tribal whims. For the sake of the faith, the gentlest man in Medina had to become its most unyielding commander. Abu Bakr stood in Medina like an unmovable mountain. When the senior companions, including Umar ibn al-Khattab, pleaded with him to show leniency to those who refused to pay zakat until the state stabilized, Abu Bakr uttered his legendary, uncompromising decree, "By Allah, if they withhold from me even the tether of a camel that they used to give to the messenger of Allah, I will fight them for it." He did not just speak, he executed a military strategy of staggering brilliance. He divided the Muslim forces into 11 separate armies, assigning each a precise geographical target across Arabia. At the vanguard of these forces, he placed the most formidable military mind of the era, Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of Allah. Abu Bakr waged the Ridda wars with absolute ferocity and unbending resolve. Brutal battles raged across the peninsula, culminating in the ferocious Battle of Yamama. There, against the massive army of Musaylima the liar, the Muslims fought with their backs against the wall. They breached the notorious Garden of Death, crushed the rebellion, and eliminated the false prophet. In just 2 short years, the man who many thought was too fragile to rule had utterly crushed the largest rebellion Arabia had ever seen. He reunited the Arab tribes under a single, pure banner, exactly as the Prophet had left it. The reign of Abu Bakr al-Siddiq lasted only 2 years and a few months, but they were arguably the most critical 2 years in the history of the Muslim world. He did not just save Islam from extinction. Before his passing, he looked beyond the horizons of Arabia. Abu Bakr passed away having solidified the foundations, building the rock-solid base upon which an empire would stand for centuries to come. He was truly the right man, at the most perilous moment in history. What do you believe was Abu Bakr's most critical decision during this crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chapter of this grand historical epic. See you in the next episode.